Hey guys, Santa Claus here with another set of NFL predictions. This time it's week 13. We've got 5 more prediction episodes left of the season, but I will do postseason as well. I will do postseason predictions, like the wild card round and the divisional rounds and the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl, which will be released on February, what was it, the Thursday before the Super Bowl. Thursday, February 4th, I believe, is when I'll be releasing those predictions. Anyways, we're going to be talking about Week 13, and there is no Thursday game, but I do this every Thursday. So, and after the Super Bowl, I won't do any more predictions until the beginning of the next season, which hopefully is in mid-September of next year. Anyways, we're going to be talking about Week 13. And yeah, there's no Thursday game, so let's get into the rest. There are 2 teams on bye week this week, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. These 2 teams are the last 2 teams to receive a bye this season, and they will, and the rest of the league will catch up in the number of games played, which is supposed to be 12 as of this week. So, yeah, week 12 was a bit of a doozy. It was pretty long. The Ravens-Steelers game got postponed to yesterday, and the Steelers won by 5. And it wasn't that wasn't much of a game, but, yeah, and there was a bit of that was like the only game that was just kept getting rescheduled because a lot of Ravens players tested positive, and it was it wasn't that great of a week for me. I mean, prediction wise, I got 10 out of 16. Better than week 11 where I got only 5 of 14. So, yeah. Hopefully this week will be as good as week 12 was. But in regards to timing, no. It wasn't that great of a week. It's finally over. It's actually a miracle that week 12 ended when it did. And yeah, this was the longest week I've ever seen in NFL history. 6 days. NFL weeks usually last 4 days. Thursday, Friday, around 4 days. From Thursday to Monday. I mean, not counting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, 4 days. This one took 2 more days because first it got scheduled to Sunday afternoon, and then it got rescheduled to Tuesday night, and then it actually got played on Wednesday afternoon, which I've never seen NFL football on a Wednesday as of now. The last time it happened was in 2012 with the home opener against, the Giants played, but I don't know who they played. Anyways, let's get into the games. Sorry for that little spiel about week 12. The New Orleans Saints take on the Atlanta Falcons, and yeah, the Falcons blew away the Raiders last week, and that wasn't that great of a game. I expected the Falcons to choke, and that's why I picked the Raiders. I mean, they do have a new head coach now. Raheem Morris only choked once, and it was the game against the Lions in Week 7. I believe it was Week 7. So, yeah. If the Falcons win this game, their chances at making the playoffs go up by at least one win. But the Falcons do remain, I believe, 4th in their division as of now. Or if the NFC South has another team that has less wins. I don't think so. But the Panthers are crawling up. And they beat the Lions by 20 last week. Actually, in week 11. Who did the Panthers play? Who did they play? The Vikings? Yeah, that was a blowout. Actually, no, it wasn't. The Vikings won that. Never mind. And the Saints, they're first in the NFC. And the Falcons, I don't even know what their power ranking is. In the NFC, the Saints are first. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go with the Saints because they have a better record. They got Michael Thomas back. They're 9-2. The Saints are definitely going to the playoffs. That is a for sure bet that the Saints are going to the playoffs this year. The Steelers, 11-0. They are currently undefeated, and if they beat the Bills, then they will have a perfect season because they're playing Washington next week, and Washington isn't that good except if you're playing Dallas or any other team they won against. But, yeah, I had pretty high ambitions for Dallas last week when I really shouldn't have. I regretted that decision, and, yeah, I totally regretted that decision when I made those predictions on Thanksgiving morning. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints. The Cleveland Browns take on the Tennessee Titans. I believe they are playing in Nashville. Either that or they're playing at First Energy Stadium. Hopefully at First Energy because they have the home field advantage. And I know they played in Jacksonville last week and didn't beat the crap out of them, but they sure beat them. And Jacksonville has lost 10 straight. As for the Titans, they beat out the Colts because Derrick Henry is probably one of the best running backs in the league, and this is his 5th year. Yeah. Derrick Henry is a really good running back. There's no doubt about it. But Nick Chubb could probably run down the field and rush a couple touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, he's a good running back. I mean, he's a good player, but he's not a good person outside of the field. He did beat his girlfriend, though. That's why the Chiefs cut him. And the Browns signed him last year. I mean, Kareem Hunt is a good football player, but not a good person off the field. And Chubb, Chubb is one of the best running backs we've seen in a long time. And Baker, he's okay. I mean, he kind of struggled last week, but my least favorite play of the fourth quarter is when he passed the ball on a 3rd and inches and who their wide receiver's name is, Jarvis. I don't even know if he passed it to Jarvis. But Odell's out for the season. You got Jarvis Landry out there. And, yeah. Odell Beckham used to be a Giant. A New York Giant. And he was for several years until I'm not sure if they waived him or cut him, but yeah. And as for the Titans, I think it's going to be a close matchup, but I might, if the Browns 10-6 is a reality, then yeah, if the Browns 10-6 is a reality, then they'll go to the playoffs. They'd be a wild card spot though, because they're currently 8-3. And the Browns haven't been 8-3 since 2007. It's been 13 years since the last time. Actually, it's been 13 years since the Browns have won 8 games in their season. That's pretty impressive. You got a new head coach. He coaches well. They've got a good offensive core. They've got Baker Mayfield. They've got Jarvis Landry. They got Nick Chubb. They've got Jedrick Wills, a new tackle. And, yeah. And they've got a few offensive guards, and it's a pretty good offensive core, I'd say. And the Titans, they rely on Derrick Henry too much. That's all I can say. I mean, Derrick Henry's good, but too good. He's too good. Like, he's so good that it's bad. And I get both teams are 8-3. This is a battle of 8-3. And I think it's going to be the Browns. So, yeah. Can you believe it's already December? I mean, the holiday, you can't see it, but I'm wearing my Santa hat right now. Because I got some spirit for the holidays, like I do every year. And I got a pretty good Christmas lineup coming on Christmas. So, yeah, for videos and stuff. Anyways, the Detroit Lions take on the Chicago Bears. I think this is going to be a longer predictions video because I'm going to spiel about Week 12 and stuff like that. I'm going to spiel about Week 12 anyways. So, yes. The Detroit Lions take on the Chicago Bears in an NFC North matchup for the ages. This is a division rivalry game in which the Bears have lost their last 5, and they have reverted back to 2017 form. And because Trubisky can't throw a football, their receiver, I don't even know if their receivers are even active. I know the Broncos didn't have a quarterback. That's right. The Broncos didn't have a quarterback. And they got a wide receiver to play quarterback because he played quarterback in college. He played QB in high school, and he played QB in college until he switched to wide receiver. And this is new to it. It isn't new to him, but it's a bit of a step up. Plus, he's a rookie. He's a rookie receiver that was undrafted this year. Yeah, he signed with the Broncos as an undrafted free agent. But yeah, let's talk about the Lions and the Bears for a second. The Lions, what was that on Thanksgiving? What was that? You got completely obliterated by the Texans. The Texans. Out of all the teams, how could you lose to the Texans? They're not even that good. But alas, the Texans are a hell of a lot better than the Lions. And I received word a couple days ago that Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn were fired. Finally. Matt Patricia doesn't deserve a head coach position. And I don't even know the interim's name. I have to look it up. Now I gotta been watching U-Tree and stuff. What is the Lions interim head coach? What's his name? What's the Detroit Lions head coaches? Who's the interim head coach? Let's just look up Detroit Lions. Darrell Bevell. Darrell Bevell is his name. I'm going to remember that name. Darrell Bevell. Thank God Patricia got fired. They need an interim GM, and I don't know his name. It is about time. It was about time that Patricia was fired. And when Patricia was axed, I think the Lions had a little bit more hope. But I am not going to pick the Lions anymore until they become a good team. And the Bears, I think this might be a tank bowl. This might be. I don't think the NFC North is a tank division in all nonsense, because you have the Packers up there and they're spewing out games like crazy. The Bears got blown out by the Packers on Sunday. And yeah. The Bears aren't that good either. I mean, they used to be. They were 5-1 in week 7. Actually, they were 5-1 in week 6. And then in week 12, they progressed to 5-6. You have the same record as the Minnesota Vikings as well. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings didn't really do so hot at the beginning of the year. They look a little better. I mean, the bye probably helped in week 7, I think. Whatever week it was where they had that bye, I think that bye helped. But yeah, the Lions fired Patricia. They fired Bob Quinn. And they got Darrell Bevell to be their interim head coach, which is I think that he was their offensive coordinator. And yeah, this is like the 8th time I had to look up something in a predictions video, because I didn't know the guy's name. But yeah, I'm probably gonna go. This is a tough one. But I'm not going to pick the Lions, because until they're a good team, I will pick them. And if they win this game, then the Bears will be shunned by the rest of the league. They'll be 5-7. They will not. They'll just implode on the field probably. But they are. I think they're playing in Soldier Field, so hopefully. I think it's the team on the bottom that receives the home field advantage. So I think they're playing at Soldier Field. So it might be the Bears. I'm going to pick the Bears because I won't pick the Lions until they play good. Because they have no offense, they have no defense. The Lions just look awful. So I'm going to go with the Bears. A repeat of Week 16 of the 2019 NFL season. December 22nd, 2019, it determined the first overall pick in the 2020 draft, in which the Bungles received it. The Bungles, without Joe Burrow, will be playing the Miami Dolphins once again, but not in Week 16. They will be playing them in Week 13 of this season, led by Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I don't think it was a mistake to start Tua, but by God, you didn't have to bench him. He's a rookie. Give him a chance. But, Ryan Fitzpatrick's been there for 2 years. And he's a hell of a lot better than, what's his name, Tua. But the Dolphins received the 5th overall pick because they had the 5th worst record. But the Bungles went 1-15. That's right. The Bungles last year went 1-15 and received Joe Burrow. The Dolphins tanked for Tua. And the Bengals got Joe Burrow. But here's the thing. I'm going to go with the Dolphins again. I didn't predict them last time. I didn't do predictions actually in the 2019 season. I actually started watching football around I started watching bowl games on I started watching football by watching college bowl games in the winter, last winter. And I didn't watch the NFL. I didn't watch any of that. But I watched college football, and then I started to progress and like the NFL. But yeah, I think this offseason has taught me a lot. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins. The 1-10 Jacksonville Jaguars. They have lost 10 straight. But I didn't save them. But I did not save them at all. Face off the 5-6 Vikings. And they're tied with the Bears right now. I don't even know who's second. It's one of those two. Either the Vikings or the Bears. I don't think the Bears. I think it might be the Vikings. The Vikings might be second in the NFC North. And the Jaguars, of course, they are the second worst team in the league as of now. The worst team is the New York Jets, who are 0-11. A losing season awaits for the Jets. But the Vikings are going to win this game. The Indianapolis Colts take on an AFC South foe in the Houston Texans, who blew out the Lions on Thanksgiving. What happened? Why are the Lions that terrible? I get they're 4-7. I get they've won a few games, but they are abysmal. The Jets are just a dumpster fire. The Lions, I think they're a second runner-up. I think the Lions might receive the third pick again, if anything. But the Texans are facing the Colts, and the Colts got blown out by the Titans. They've got 2 AFC South matchups in a row. And the Texans, I get they won against the Lions, but that was a cheap shot. I didn't even expect the Texans to win when I first saw the game, and they did. But the Colts are playing the Texans. So I don't even know who to root for. The Colts or the Texans. I think the Colts are 7-4. The Texans are 4-7. The Colts look a little bit better than the Texans, but the Texans beat out the Lions and they got blown out by the Titans. So it's a tough call. But I'm gonna go with the Colts. I may regret that decision, but it's one wrong prediction. As long as I don't get at least 7 wrong, then I'll be fine. The Las Vegas Raiders take on the New York Jets. The 0-11 New York Jets. I think the Raiders might be 6-5. They are. The Jets are 0-11. They need 5 more games to lose, and they will have a losing season. They are definitely getting the first overall pick in this draft next year. If they play like they did against the Dolphins, I want them to lose. The Jets don't deserve wins anymore. Gase needs to be canned. I think Gase just needs to sell the team, or whoever the owner is. And I'm not going to look it up because I don't associate with the New York Jets. The Jets are just a dumpster fire. They haven't won a game all season. The Jaguars are runner-up in the first overall pick race. When you're worse than the Jaguars, you know something's wrong. But the Raiders got blown up by the Falcons, surprisingly. And good thing Dan Quinn was fired. I think this is the third head coach that was fired this year. First it was Bill O'Brien, got replaced by Romeo Crennel as an interim head coach. And then Dan Quinn got thrown off his ass, and he was replaced by Raheem Morris. And then Matt Patricia also got thrown off his ass, and he was replaced with Darrell Bevell. This is the third head coach fired this year. The third. Out of 3 horrible teams. And the Jaguars fired their general manager. What happened? I get COVID is rampant right now. And my county might go purple today. But yeah. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I went with the Raiders last time, and they lost against the Falcons. But that's okay. That's okay. They're playing the Jets. They'll do better. They'll do better. The New York Giants take on the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, that wasn't very close of a game against the Bengals, but the Giants still ended up winning. Because the Bengals know nothing but loss. Except when they're 2-8-1. And the Seahawks, as expected, beat the Eagles. And then they get another NFC East opponent in the New York Giants. Without Daniel Jones, I think this organization could spark up. They look like they're 4-7. They're tied with the Washington football team for first in the NFC East. And the Giants are actually first in their division as of now. The football team is second. They're tied. They're tied for first. And I don't understand why. I don't get why the football team didn't have the first place. And the Giants have it now. Because the Eagles lost against the Seahawks. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the... I already made up my predictions. Beforehand, before I started recording, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. These are the late afternoon games that are gonna be happening. I think there are 4 late afternoon games this time. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. The Los Angeles Rams, who lost to the 49ers last week, after a field goal at the end of the game, take on the Arizona Cardinals, who lost against the Patriots and are now 6-5, I believe. The Patriots are 5-6. They're starting to climb back up there. And the Bills, yeah, they'll keep the division. They're 8-3. They'll have the division title, I think. Week 17, I'll do division title predictions as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams because their defense looks good. I mean, they stuffed the Buccaneers in Week 11, and the Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals. I'm sorry, Cardinals. Um, I can't say much about. You had a shot in beating the Patriots, but you didn't do it. And the Rams will stuff you. If you have a terrible offense, I mean you don't. I mean you have a pretty decent offense, but if you're going against a solid defense in the Rams, then you are going to be stuffed. So I'm going to go with the Rams as my prediction there. The New England Patriots, speaking of which, take on the Los Angeles Chargers. An AFC conference matchup between an AFC East opponent and an AFC West opponent. The Chargers beat the Jets in Week 11. It was actually a tank bowl when I didn't even call it as a tank bowl. I don't see this as a tank bowl. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Patriots. They'll be 6-6. If they at least go 8-8, they'll probably make the playoffs. Maybe. There are 14 teams in the playoffs this year. Due to COVID, of course. And the Chargers, they are not making the playoffs. For sure, they are not making the playoffs because the Chargers just look awful. They got... I know Justin Herbert is trying to save the team, but that offensive line is just garbage. Okay? They're just garbage. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles... Wait, I said the Patriots. I think I meant the Los Angeles Rams over there. But, yeah, the New England Patriots are going to win this game. I'm going to say... I mean the Patriots. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots. I'd never go with the Chargers. The Philadelphia Eagles, who are 3-7-1, and third in the division. They're third in the division. They got boinked down to third because the Washington football team went against Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys are 3-8, and the Giants won against the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. But the Eagles are playing the Green Bay Packers, who stuffed the Bears last week in a Sunday Night Football matchup. The Packers are going to be broadcast on CBS. As I was looking, they are going to be broadcast on CBS. The Eagles, they're not good. They're going to be 3-8-1 after this. The Packers are going to probably receive 9. They're probably going to be at least the number 2 seed in the NFC, because they'll probably go 13-3 maybe, or 12-4 or whatever game they'll. I don't even know. But yeah, the Packers will be 9-3 after this. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers. The Sunday Night Football game is an AFC West division game. It's another one. It's another division rival game on Sunday Night Football. It's the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. And yeah, the Chiefs... Yeah, the Chiefs are they're 10-1. They've got a pretty easy schedule for the rest of the year. I have them going 15-1 and being the number 2 seed um, with the Steelers. The Steelers were probably going to be the number 1 seed because they were undefeated most of the year, and the Chiefs they only have one loss against the Raiders the first time, and then they played the Raiders again and they won. So the season series between them and the Raiders is tied. So yeah, this is the season. This is gonna end the season series between the Chiefs and the Broncos, and I believe the Chiefs have to play the Chargers again, hopefully in Week 17, because that's usually the division. That's usually the division rival week, in which there's every game is played on Sunday, and there's no Thursday or Monday night game on Week 17. Everything will be played on Sunday. There's no Sunday night football. There's no primetime football. So that is the week that will. Yeah, there are 4 more weeks remaining of the season after this. But I'm gonna go with the Chiefs because they'll probably end up with 1 loss. They'll probably have the number 2 seed against and the Steelers will have the Steelers will have their division. The Chiefs will have their division. I think the Steelers will have the number 1 seed and the Chiefs the number 2 seed. So the Steelers will probably receive a first round bye, and they'll go to the playoffs. The Chiefs are going to the playoffs. The Steelers are going to the playoffs. They're not confirmed, but I predict they're going to the playoffs. And the Broncos, they're 5-6, I think. Oh, they're 4-7, so they're not going. They're not going to the playoffs. They've lost too many games. I believe this was the game that was scheduled for. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs for that last prediction there. I don't know what this game was scheduled to be before they scheduled it to later. Yeah, there are 3 more games left. Jeez. There is I think it's because a couple Steelers players like James Conner and Marquise Pouncey tested positive for the virus, so they had to reschedule the Washington. They're playing the Washington football team, and this will guarantee them a 12-0 spot. If they beat the Bills in Week 14, then you know what that means. They'll have a 16-0 record. But everything else, there will be a percent chance that the Steelers will go 16-0. And if they do, they get the number 1 seed. They get a first round bye in the wild card, and the Chiefs will have the set. I don't think they receive a bye in the wild card. They have to play in the wild card round. But yeah, I think the Steelers will receive the number 1 seed. If they beat the Bills next week, then they will be set for 16-0. If not, 15-1, they'll be tied with the Chiefs. But they're playing the Washington football team, who upset the Cowboys. Because the Cowboys have no offense, and they let the defense stomp all over them. A mediocre defense, mind you. And if you have Andy Dalton, then, yeah. I thought Andy Dalton was supposed to be good. Then I remembered he played on the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's the reason why they got Burrow. In Washington, I don't know if they will. Hopefully they do not. Hopefully they change their name in the offseason. They think about changing their name. Because they're currently called the Washington football team. Yeah, they used to be called the Redskins. It, I get Redskin is a more racial. I don't. Plus the Native Americans don't even use the term Redskin because it's not racist. Like I mean I get why you would change it, and it was a discrepancy. It was like I get why you would change it, but good Jesus. The football team. You changed your name to the football team. But they're playing the Steelers. And the Steelers are probably and yeah, the Steelers had an ugly win against the Ravens last night. And yeah, it was an ugly win, but it's 11-0. Steelers go Super Bowl. And yeah, Steelers. It's being played on December 7th at 5 o'clock. I don't even know if that might have been the Thursday game or some other game that was postponed on Sunday. The Buffalo Bills take on the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. And yeah, the Bills are a much better team than the 49ers. I get they won against the Rams, but it was a field goal. And if they didn't make the field goal, they'd be in overtime, and the Rams might have scored a touchdown with their offense. But you're playing the Bills, and that's going to be a tougher matchup for you. So I'm going to go with the Bills because they look good. They look like they'll have the division title. I do have them. In my record predictions, I do have them winning their division. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bills on Monday night. There is going to be a Tuesday night football game once again. It was going to be the Ravens and the Steelers next, and then that got postponed to yesterday. So, what do? They postponed the Dallas Cowboys game to Tuesday night because there is COVID. There's COVID being spread across. The Ravens. This is last. Yeah, the Ravens are having a bit of a COVID problem. So they keep rescheduling. This isn't going to be. I think this is going to be a shorter week because there is no Thursday game, so it's going to be from Sunday to Tuesday. Yeah, so the Cowboys are playing the Ravens, and I believe the Ravens are going to win for the first time since probably week 7. I have no idea. What was it, 6-1? Well, they did lose 4 straight, inclusive of their bye week. I think they did lose 3 straight, but they did lose to the Steelers in week 5, I think. So, yeah. Remember when you were 6-1? Now you're 6-5. You're like the Bears. You're like the Bears. You lose straight games and your record just, you haven't won a game in a long time. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you lost to the Patriots, lost to Steelers again. I didn't even expect you to lose against the Patriots. I predicted you guys winning, but you guys played an ugly game against Pittsburgh last night. It was a deserving loss. It's 6-5. You're probably not going to make the playoffs. The Browns are probably going to be in the wild card, and you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck in there. You're going to be eliminated from the playoffs because you're going to. You're not going to be 6-10, but you'll probably have less wins than I'm predicting. So I'm going to go with the Ravens because Dallas is trash, and I'm not going to deal with Dallas until they are a good football team. So yeah, that is week 13. I know this is a longer one, and I'm sorry, but it had to be done. So, yeah, that's the week 13. See you guys next week. Yep.